Former U.S. President Donald Trump plans to skip the next Republican presidential debate, instead heading to Detroit next week to speak to a crowd of union workers. That's according to an aide on Monday, who said Trump will forego the debate to insert himself into the dispute between striking workers and the United States' top automakers. The event will mark the second time Trump has skipped a Republican primary presidential debate in this election cycle. Despite facing a string of legal woes, the former president still leads his nearest rival by nearly 50 percentage points, according to recent opinion polls. Trump's speech signals an effort by his team to look beyond the Republican primaries and onto a likely general election rematch with Biden next November. And his address to union members points to a Trump campaign to win back some of the working-class voters who defected to Biden in his 2020 victory against Trump. It comes as the United Auto Workers Union began a strike last week against the so-called Detroit 3 carmakers over pay and other benefits. It's a labor dispute that could pose a major political threat for Biden. The current president has vocally supported unions for decades, but there is anger among some rank-and-file auto workers that he has not done enough to stand up to the manufacturers and their executives amid huge industry profits. Trump looks set to seize the opportunity to persuade auto workers and other union members that he will be on their side if he becomes president again. The current strike has geographical significance for next year's general election. Many of the affected workers are based in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, three key Midwestern battleground states where the presidential contest could be decided.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Hell yeah!
Negotiations between the United Auto Workers Union and the so-called Big Three Detroit car manufacturers are set to continue over the weekend as the two sides continue their face-off in the largest American labor action in decades. 12,700 UAW members stopped working Friday at three factories belonging to General Motors, Ford Motor, and Chrysler's parent company, Stellantis. This was the UAW's leader, Shawn Fain.
But I feel damn good, and I'm damn proud to stand here with the VP of the UAW over Ford, the top AA, and all of our workers out here. These guys are the ones. This is what it's all about.
And the message to your members out here tonight? What's the final message before you head home?
Record profits equal record contracts. It's our time, and all we want is our share of equity. We're not asking to be millionaires.
It's a line that was repeated by President Biden hours later, that record profits at car manufacturers should mean record contracts for their workers. And he said that while the companies have made significant offers, they didn't go far enough. The UAW is the only major union which has not endorsed Biden's re-election campaign, with many members in important swing states. The U.S. government has been pouring billions of dollars into subsidies for electric vehicles, but electric vehicles require fewer jobs to make them. Meanwhile, the UAW is holding off on widening the strikes to other factories or entire companies for now. Central to its demands is the end of what it calls a two-tier system for workers, where workers on the lower tier can make only half the hourly wages of more senior members and take a longer time to reach that higher level. This worker was on a picket line in Wayne, Michigan.
You know, I just started a month ago and I'm making like $16 an hour and it's beating me up. So I can't imagine what these people have been working 25 years. It's a lot. It's a lot. I should be making the same as my coworker.
None of the car companies have proposed eliminating the tiered system. Stellantis also said Friday that it's gone into what it calls contingency mode and that it will make structural decisions to protect itself without elaborating. Fain said earlier this week that Stellantis had proposed shutting up to 18 facilities in the U.S.